In the last lecture, I covered how to make a solution of a particular concentration by dissolving a solid into some water to make up the solution. And we talked about the very important unit of molarity, which you might remember is going to be the moles of solute dissolved in a certain liter of solution. This time we're going to think about how we can take a solution that's already made up of a certain concentration and then add water to that solution concentration to dilute it. So we're going to learn how to take what we call a stock solution that's concentrated and then dilute that stock solution to make up a concentration of any particular concentration that we want that's less concentrated than what we start with. And we're going to use what's called the dilution equation to help us with this. It just looks like this. M1V1 equals M2V2. And we're going to call M1 the molarity, or the concentration, of the concentrated solution we start with. So this is the concentration of the stock, the solution we start with. V1 is going to be how much of that stock solution we're going to need to take. So this will be the volume of the stock solution, the stored solution, needed. M2 is going to be the concentration of the solution that we want to make. Concentration of solution desired. And V2, that's going to be the volume of the solution that we want to make up. Volume of solution desired. And there's a problem that we'll work through together on slide 4 of the PowerPoint 4B solution concentration, slide 4. It says concentrated hydrochloric acid is 12 molar. So we've got a stock solution that's, just draw the bottle here. This is our stock. And it's 12 molar hydrochloric acid. And we want to make a solution that's 500 milliliters. And I don't want it this concentrated. I only want the concentration to be 1 molar hydrochloric acid. So the question is, how do we take this stock solution that's 12 molar, how much of it do we take and dilute to 500 milliliters of water to make our dilute solution of 1 molar hydrochloric acid? And we'll use our dilution equation to figure this out. Well, let's see. V2, the volume that I want, is 500 milliliters. The concentration that I want is 1 molar. The concentration that I have is 12 molar. So I'll plug all these in to my dilution equation. So let's see, M1 is 12 molar. The volume of this that I need to take, we don't know. So I'm going to leave that as V. That's going to equal the molarity that I want, which is 1 molar. And we'll multiply that by the volume that I want, which is 500 milliliters. This is pretty easy to solve for. I hope you see that we're just going to divide both sides of this by 12 molar. This cancels this. I'm going to divide this by 12 molar. The molar unit cancels the molar unit. And my volume is going to be in units of milliliters because that unit survives. And now I just have to do the math. So it's basically 500 divided by 12. That's going to be the volume that I need to take. 41.7 milliliters. So this tells me what to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take 41.7 milliliters of this stock solution, and I'm going to put it into a special flask that we call a volumetric flask. I would get a volumetric flask that's 500 milliliters, because that's the volume I want. And the volumetric flask looks like a really long tube with a bulb at the end. And then there's a line in the neck, and then it'll actually say 500.0 milliliters. And what a volumetric flask is, it's a flask that's designed to measure out a very specific volume, such that if, when I fill this with fluid, when the bottom of the meniscus of the fluid, as I fill it up, if the bottom of the meniscus touches that line, then I know I have exactly 500 milliliters of the mixture that's in here. So, since I want 500 milliliters of solution, I get a 500 milliliter volumetric flask. I'll take 41.7 milliliters of the stock solution. I'll put it into the volumetric flask. This is where the 41.7 milliliters of the stock solution goes. I'll fill it the rest of the way with water. I'll stopper this off, shake it up, and when I'm done, if the meniscus just touches that line there, I'll know I've made up my solution. That's going to be 1 molar hydrochloric acid.